afternoon, everyone. You made it. Thanks for joining us today at our office hour time to talk about benefits packages and really kind of your compensation in general, as if you can believe it, this is our last office hour. I know we keep calling it that, even though it's a half hour. It's our last office hour of this series, which in some ways feels like a billion years, in some ways feels like we just got started yesterday. It's really exciting that we have the opportunity to talk about this, because I know this is something that people love to kind of talk about the details with, and I'm happy to see we have a nice little cohort on the line here, and we're really counting on you today to ask questions and to tell us what you're doing. And I'm going to call on you, of course, but we hope that you'll sort of volunteer and share some things as we go. It's me. Once again, you can see me on the screen and in Bitmoji form. Happy to join you here. Suzanne is on the line and is going to be speaking to you next week, but you can chat with both of us via the chat box, the Q&A box, as we go, and then, of course, we're also going to unmute you in just a few seconds, so look to your phone or your computer or whatever. If you want to mute yourself on your device, that would be wonderful, so we can just not have too much noise on the line as we're going along here. We're really excited to talk about all things benefits and what you guys have been thinking about or working on since last week's session, and just really thinking about different components that here at the Star Center we think are important, although of course there's a multitude of things that you could be building for your health center. So we're going to just get to it, dive right in. I'm going to ask Chris to take everybody's lines off mute, and again, please mute yourself. We're hearing some muting up. Oh, great job, everyone. This is off to a great start already. Wonderful. Well, we're going to talk first about the story piece, and I'm putting back up our slide from last time, which is really about how your benefits package tells your story and thinking about how the specific elements you select paint your picture. So last week, we asked you to think about and write down a couple sentences of what your story is, and for the most part, this is probably going to be something like your organization's mission statement. In general, we're an organization that cares about what, an organization that does what for your community, and generally aligns for your staff what you do for your community, what you do for your patients, and what you do for them. So I would love to hear from people about what their story is, and maybe some things that you felt, yep, these are the high-level 2 or 3 things that I think we really do that lines up with that. Or if you don't have a story, maybe a challenge you had coming up with it, or a challenge you had aligning your benefits package to it. So do we have any volunteers to start? Brave volunteers for this Tuesday afternoon? Nope. Everyone's just being polite. Great. Well, how about we hear from Jerry Murray? Jerry, you want to tell us a little bit about your story and or your benefits and or any challenges you're having about that?
Okay. Our leadership team, we have actually just gotten done creating what we call a vivid vision.
Ooh,
and part of that vivid vision was our culture. And so a few lines from that is that we want our team members, we want them to feel appreciated, and we want to make sure that we meaningfully recognize what they do. And by doing that, we want to, ensure that we provide them as much as we possibly can, work-life balance, appropriate benefits for, for their family, that the price ranges are affordable, and things like that. So that's just a little bit about a quick highlight of what we have talked about in regards to benefits.
Awesome. How did you guys get to building that vivid vision? What was kind of the driver of that, and what did it take to get something down like that?
Well, we needed a strategic plan. We wanted to make sure that all of our leadership team members were on the same page. We're all very motivated and want to get things done, but we also recognize that there were so many things that we wanted to get done, so many things that were going on at the same time that our efforts were either duplicated or we weren't able to put in as much time and effort as we really needed to, and really focus together on where we want to be 2 years from now and 5 years from now. So the vivid vision, it goes out to 2022. So we created this idea of what we want to look like, be like, not for just our employees, but also for our patients, for their families, and for the community and our community partners. So we really tried to focus that and to help us, just be on that same page and know what each area, what each department was working on, so we didn't have those duplicated efforts.
Mhm. So were there any things that once you had this vision that you were like, oh, we need to cut that, or wow, we have a big gap here?
Right now we're in the process of creating our strategic action plans on how we can make that vivid vision a reality. And so we've got several different small working teams to help focus even more on each of those areas, such as our partners, our culture, our patients, and our community, to really try to hone into what is it that we need to do to be that provider of choice, to be that employer of choice, and like defining culture to employees. What does that mean, and what does it mean to be engaged, and what is their employment life cycle like, from their onboarding to their developing, and so we are in the middle of creating those types of communication plans and strategic plans.
Exciting. I'm excited for you. I feel like it's going to be a lift and then take a whole weight off your shoulders when you're done.
Once we are able to really define it, I really think it's going to be a great marking post, basically, to say, okay, here's where we want to go, and now we have that path and those actions of actually how we're going to get there together, instead of just each department trying to sort of trudge up that, go up that hill. We're going there together. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any questions for Jerry? You want to chat with her or ask anything at all? You can just start chatting or put them in the chat box if you prefer. Anyone? No? All right. Well, if you think of anything, great. Appreciate you sharing that, Jerry. Let's hear from just one more person. How about Lori Belmontes? Can you share something about your story or any immediate challenges you had putting that together, or immediate challenges, questions, anything you want to talk about related to your story?
I missed the last session, so I'm catching up. So as far as our story goes, we really make a big effort to create equal access to everyone, regardless of their ability to pay. And we took that and we formed a behavior model with our employees on standards of behavior, which is known as We Care. And we applied a model to it known as AID-IT. And so in that, we have a very strong focus on the customer experience, as well as the employee's experience. So our compensation, of course, is now being reviewed to fulfill all of our generational employees' needs. And so that includes our Gen Zs already.
And you believe it? They're the babies now. Everyone's talking about millennials. It's Gen Z, people.
Right, 16 to 25 years of age. A lot of our entry-level positions are Gen Zers now. So the challenge for us is figuring out how we can build a compensation package that will support our vision of that customer service experience and support our employee experience, and build that and for lack of a better term, retain them. Because just as I was going through McDonald's the other day, I saw that McDonald's gives educational reimbursement quite a bit more than what we do here. So keeping up with those trends.
Yeah. Well, it's an excellent point that we're not just trying to keep up with other health centers or health providers, especially depending on the type of position you're looking at. There's lots of IT jobs people can get other places on other topics, and so it's keeping up with the trends and the general marketplace in your area as well. And always remember, McDonald's has great venues, so you have to watch out.
Right, and and this is the tough part. We are an FQHC, of course. We're open Monday through Fridays during the days, but McDonald's, some of them are open 24/7 and offer those flexible schedules.
Yeah.
So it's part of it is recognizing where those opportunities and threats are really lying with our workforce pool right now, and seeing how we can connect. And so our vision is trying to show all of our community members what it's like to work at CVHA, and really focus on that experience, and then connect the dots on how we, in return for great customer service and all those other pillars that we have, connecting the compensation to that, all the way from our front desk individuals to our providers. So it's a tough one. It's not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, but so well said. I mean, I really appreciate that you have kind of a structural model and approach to this is our commitment to our community and our patient and our staff, and so we have to figure out how it makes sense kind of with everything. I'd love if you say just one more word about kind of Gen Z and any specific like benefits or compensation problems you think you're having or challenges you might need to overcome for that generation specifically.
Well, a lot of Gen Zers are not opting to go to a 4-year school, I've noticed here in my location. And they're going to community colleges and exploring beyond that. So some of the difficulties we're coming across is that those Gen Zers need flexibility to attend their classes during the day or when it's offered and so forth. So that is a little bit of a difficulty, and keeping up with the trends of making education so affordable, because I have Walmart just literally beating down my block. So Walmart offers Gen Zers for $1 college, and college is a big deal for our Gen Zers right now. They are definitely concerned. They're more reserved when it comes to money spending as opposed to the millennials. They're definitely more reserved on that. I've noticed that. But they're more technically savvy. So if you have an outdated software program that they have not, that they are on like the latest generation on it, it's a little bit difficult for them to get moving on that, as opposed to being comfortable with the latest generation model of technology.
Super interesting.
Some of the items I've noticed with the Gen Zers, but I think they're coming along, and they're really going to be setting a benchmark for us, since a lot of our positions are entry level, such as our dental assistants, our medical side of things, our assistants, our certified assistants, as well as our patient services registrars, and right down to the cafe that we have. 4 years already into the Gen Zers right now.
Great, really interesting. Does anybody have any questions for Lori about their model and their customer staff experience approach? I'd also love to hear from anybody who has what they would consider like a good benefit piece focused on continuing education. hopefully somebody's doing some kind of financial support or benefits or package that supports either college or ongoing education that might be a good idea for Lori and this Gen Z problem. Does anybody have something like that that they can just share briefly?
This is Lisa from ICHS.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. So we don't have continuing education for all staff yet, but we have been working to expand it. It used to just be for our medical doctors, and so now we have kind of a scale ranging from $500 to $2,000 based on your position. There's continuing education allowance available for all of our licensed staff, including like our nurses, our medical assistants, our dietitians. So we've been able to expand it for all of our licensed staff, but we haven't quite gotten it to all the way expanded out to non-licensed staff.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And then the rate varies based on the position you're in for what's available.
Okay. Great. Anyone else have anything they want to share about that or ask Lisa a question? Everyone feels good? Lisa, do you have any like data or a general sense even right now offhand about what percentage of your licensed staff take you up on their CE?
80 to 90% would be my rough guess. As soon as we rolled it out about a year ago, we've been seeing, especially our nursing staff, really utilizing it, as well as some of our other staff, because we can also use it to pay for their licenses and stuff like that as well.
Great. Awesome. Lovely. Okay, thank you for sharing. And you were the perfect segue, because I want to spend the rest of our time just kind of hitting and giving you a chance to share and or ask questions or get ideas on any one of these three buckets that we talked about previously. So finances, the financial health of your staff, work-life balance, offering some of that flexibility and letting staff kind of live their whole lives. And then development is really career development stuff and really a lot of the CE kind of stuff we've been talking about. So we're going to just spend a couple minutes on each topic and just see if anyone has any questions, concerns, if you want ideas, etc. So we're starting with finances. So our main question here and our goal is being able to say, how does working for your organization help people reach their financial goals? And we've already heard a little bit from Lori that we have different generations to consider and they have different goals. And so how do you figure out what those benefits look like? So does anyone have something they really want to share, something they've done to help focus on financial goals for their staff? Or any questions or ideas that people are asking for or needing?
Hi, this is Brad from Lapine Community Health. We're going through the process of changing everything, HR system, 401k broker, insurance broker, and in doing that, we signed up with an financial broker so that they'll be managing our 401k, but also they'll be providing free services to employees as far as what they're doing with their 401k and finances in general, from home buying, car buying, any major purchases, savings plans, what to look for in their income, how to make the most out of it and most out of their 401k. Also, service I found through National Insurance. Basically, it's a Social Security, it's called Choice of a Lifetime, where they come and talk about what Social Security looks like and the various forms of distribution and what ages are most beneficial, and not always is it max retirement age beneficial, but kind of give employees the idea, and it does affect every employee from 18 to 72 and the choices that they'll make throughout their life to all the way up to retirement. So just, a quarterly thing to have somebody come in and talk to the employees about.
Awesome. I love that. And two great examples of how you made it part of your organization and then part of something that really affects everybody there. Does anybody have questions for Brad about that? I wrote down choice of a lifetime, so it's definitely a resource we want to share. No questions? Great. Well, I know your staff is going to be excited about that, Brad, and we'll look forward to hearing about any data about use or participation or how it may impact your turnover. Great. And we also had, I think, Jesse Michelson, who is here with us, shared on the discussion board previously, too, that they had done some research and thought about adding some financial benefits but that people kind of wanted the salary instead. Jesse, could you tell us a little bit about that and how you kind of used data to figure out what you wanted your financial support to look like? If you're talking, we can't hear you. You're on mute? You look like you're on mute on the call box. How about now?
Hi, this is Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
Sorry, I couldn't get it unmuted.
No worries.
So we haven't actually done official studies or polling of our staff. We did invite our staff to participate in our personnel committee, which meets directly with our board members to get information on what benefits would be meaningful to them. And really the consensus was more money in their paycheck every month.
Okay.
And that continues to be the trend.
Yeah.
You know, they want their money from, we try to do annual bonuses in the past, and they want that money now. They want their annual raises now. We have a lot of millennials and some younger employees, and they want their money now. And so figuring out how to get them that money as soon as possible in order to retain them has become our current challenge.
Interesting. Does anyone have anything they had a similar experience, or anything you can share anybody else to maybe tell Jessie about your own time and encourage her that it will get better from here? No, people have all been through the ringer, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, you're doing a great thing, which is saying, okay, what are the world of benefits we can offer, and what do our staff actually care about, and then let's figure out how to focus on that. So, you know, I'm sure that they appreciate that as long as you're communicating about it, and we'll be wishing you luck in here to support you as you figure out the rules and regulations on all that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we're going to scoot it along to work-life balance. This is probably a tricky one. We've been hearing from folks about basically how does your organization adapt to people's whole lives and things that are outside of work or support who they are at work. Any benefits that anybody can offer or approaches that they have that have worked for them on this one? Okay, how about we hear from Jennifer? Anything you're doing here, anything you're struggling with? Jennifer from CMAR, are you with us? Nope. You might be on mute. If you are, please unmute yourself and come back. If not, let's maybe ask Jerry to weigh in here. Jerry, anything you can share with us about work-life balance, or any questions or problems you're having that you're trying to deal with?
You know, we've got a good handful of providers who are wanting to work alternative work schedules. You know, if it's 10 hours or 12-hour shifts, and you know, struggling with that, you know, having access for the patient. And so that's been our main struggle right now on the provider side. It's a little bit more flexible when it comes to some of the staff and like the you know, administrative roles and things like that, if they want to adjust their time, their start time and their ending time. We have actually had a couple of physicians here in the last month or so that we have moved 2 positions to 100% remote location type of positions, and so that's fairly new for us. And but our main struggle is trying to find that balance of what the providers are looking for their work-life balance, but also trying to be there for the patient and not accruing additional cost of trying to recruit more providers to pick up those pick up those hours. So so that's a delicate point right now with us.
Are most of your providers wanting like the same hours? Like they don't want to be there past 4, or do they have similar requests and needs at this time?
Unfortunately, in some of the clinics they do. So that makes it hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else who's struggling with this that wants to weigh in or has some ideas you want to put in chat or share with us? Now's a good time. Hearing nothing, we're going to think about that, and maybe I'll put a question about that on the discussion board, Jerry, and we'll see what folks have to say there. But we want to just pause right here to talk about development, which is our last big piece, and really thinking about how your organization helps people achieve their career goals. We heard about the great CE program from Lisa. Anything else that anybody can share with us on their development, just something you do that you feel pretty good about? Any volunteers? Last chance? Okay, how about Lori? Anything you can share with us?
We launched steadily a program called CDHA University, where we show the career paths of the potential career paths a employee can take once they start working for us, and the various avenues that they can go. And for example, if we have a dental assistant that eventually wants to become a hygienist, the various levels that the dental assistant can climb, whether it's a dental assistant 2, then a 3, and then a hygienist, of course, this while also attending, their schooling and so forth. So we show the various career paths on how they can mix up obtaining the education, hours, and experience they need to reach it.
Awesome. Great.
We've actually have teamed up with the local high school students that are seniors. And it's also an initiative through Washington State that districts have to get their seniors work ready, life ready. And again, we show them the paths. We connect them one-on-one with our staff members that are in the career that the seniors are interested in. They connect one-on-one as a mentor and so forth. So that is new. It's still in its infancy stage. It's been implemented. It'll take a couple of years before we're really able to see a return on this program, the number of hours, because it does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of coordination with the community and with our physicians and employees.
Yeah. I'd say so, but that kind of program is really impressive. I'd love if you have anything on that, anything written down that would be available to share, if you would post that on the discussion board for other folks to kind of review and get some ideas. It's one of the most developed programs I've heard about, and I appreciate hearing about it from you today.
Right. Ironically, it was tough to sell to the group.
Yeah.
So it started off in chunks. And
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Ain't that the way sometimes? Yeah. Great. Well, I love it, and I think it's great, and excited to hear more about it as you get more data and get folks in it the next couple of years. We are almost at time, so if you have any questions, I haven't seen any come through while we've been chatting, so I feel like y'all sort of know what you have to do and know where you're going. We did give you a team assignment depending on sort of where you are in your process. I posted on the discussion board before we got on. Just a Word document you can download. And the first piece is doing the self-assessment on your story. So it sounds like at least several of you who shared have a clear sense of how your benefits package tells your story. I'd encourage you to take that moment if you're already through that piece to just highlight in all your communications where you're hitting the high points of that story, and a few other ideas that you could do on the communication side if you've already kind of figured out the story piece. And then a chance to look at your plan altogether, so thinking about salary that we talked about a couple of times ago, and then benefits. And then your communication pieces. So figuring out, what's your action plan, high-level action plan for, let's say, the next 6 months, and where you might want to talk about and think about as you go through. So you're going to do this part, you're going to make your plan, and a lot of you, again, have it. I appreciate everything all of you did to share today and make this a success. We look forward to seeing you on the discussion board. Again, you can download stuff, and then we're going to ask a few of you to post some things, and we'll post some questions up there. So shoot us a note, stay in touch, and we'll see you not next week, but the week after for our very last session. Sad, bittersweet, but we're happy to be spending more time with you soon. Thanks so much again for joining us. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.